Ania ya nole one one histe. Uhnosta gesha talega. Ashen ho gesta gangalento tiki. Our crafts, language, and music were born in these mountains. But for more than a generation, many Cherokee people have been cut off from their language.
When I was a young boy, they did not allow us to talk our own language, the Cherokee language, and were punished. It was in the form of a leather belt or laundry soap. They'd put it in our mouth and said we're going to wash that language out.
When over and over again, you're punished for speaking your own language, so then you, in turn, don't teach your children to speak language because you do not want them to have those same experiences. It becomes an afterthought, not anything that you are consciously subduing.
At that point, they discovered that 70% of the speakers were 50 years old and older, which means they're not really raising children. That's the key link, really, in language continuing. And so if all those people who are really fluent speakers are at that age, and they maybe live another 20 years, then that's the lifespan of the language. And right now, there are fewer than 290 speakers left.
We learned with alarm we might lose the language altogether because we are not using it enough. And so we are taking action. And that action is the Gadua Academy, a language immersion school.
Our philosophy is total immersion, which means from the moment the children come into the classroom until they leave our care, they get fully immersed in the language.
Young minds are the best minds to learn something difficult. Young minds don't think, this is hard. Young minds just go out and do it. Our written language and its syllabary were first created by Sequoyah in 1821.
It's a very difficult language to learn. The tones, the inflections, the rises and the pitch can mean the difference between one word or another. Like kamama, butterfly, or kamama, elephant. Same word.
All-star. What? Nuh-uh.
We are growing more speakers, who in turn will help teach others.
What we have done is we put the weight of our language on the shoulders of these little people. And they need somebody to speak to. I think anybody that's Cherokee that ever claims to be Cherokee, we hold that responsibility. If we don't do our part, then we're doing a disservice to them.
Our values, our philosophy, the love that we have for people is all contained in the language. That's a tough one. So it is very, very specific, and that's what makes it so difficult.
You can't learn Cherokee and be fluent in the language by coming to a class an hour a day. But what we want you to do is to encourage the use of the language with your child at home. Being able to count from 1 to 1,000. Being able to say money, the colors, shapes, you know, just simple commands and phrases that we'd like for the parents to use.
I believe very strongly that these parents can learn something each and every time they come. Kelly, you're doing great. I was down that.
We can go maybe to the Chinese restaurant and we'll just speak in Cherokee. And we'll argue in Cherokee.
Don't get the car.
And that's what's so great about Gadua Academy. She grows up with that.
So often they'll come and say, How do you say spaceman? How do you say astronaut? These kids know words in English that we don't have words in Cherokee.
And honey's credit cards. I got it.
So we are really working hard and fast to help these kids develop their vocabulary.
Every generation puts great faith for the future in its young people. Ours are special. Ours are the key to preserving our heritage, and ours are living up to the challenge.
I was okay with the language. I had a good base of it. And I just kind of stood to the side and watched and listened. And I remember Noquish right here. She came up to me one day and she said, I'll help you. And you know, these kids, I learned so much from them every day. Oh, stun. And I hope that my language skills are good enough one day that I won't have to speak English. And that when I have my children, this is where they'll be. And I can speak the language with my own children, as my grandmother has with me.
We can teach vocabulary words, we can teach phrases, we can teach them to be fluent. We not only teach the language, but we teach these kids how to be Yuduwa people, as we once were.
Unel hana igai ogi hnela ogi wane histe. Godzik huna no gods. Ul ster dotti iga hoid ogi skuna god dotti. On his adana una dotti.